So, here's another video before work. I was kind of hoping to do like a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, but I guess they're waiting until later to premiere that. I was kind of hoping that would come out about this time, and for all I know, that they'll probably premiere it right after I do this video, and I'll have to do that real quick. Anyway, so, let's talk about this little fanfiction idea that I had last night, but I was like, it's a little late, so I'll just wait to post this until later. Yeah, and what is it exactly? What we're going to be talking about today in this video is a Amphiba Justice League crossover. I thought this would be kind of a cool idea, especially after the recent developments with Amphiba. So I was like, you know what? I want to do this as I thought this would be a fun video to do. So basically the story idea for this Justice League Amphiba story is that a couple Frobots, like a few Frobots, have arrived on Earth. But here's the thing: they were scouting somewhere other than where Anne is in California. Instead, they went to Gotham, like they're part of a scouting party, and they went to Gotham City and ran into Batman. Who Batman is like, oh, it's three robots. I don't usually, and he does like put up a good fight, but like it's frickin' robots. And even though Batman does, like, destroy one, he destroyed, like, there's about 4 or 5 of them. And Batman managed to take out one, but he's like, robots is not my forte. I need something to fight other than a robot. So he calls in and is like, hey, Clark, you busy? Oh, you're not? Can I borrow you for a second? Yeah, it's robots. Okay, see you soon. So Superman flies in, bust down the robots, and they take the wreckage back to the Watchtower, because they're like, this is some weird shit. Like, we fought robots before, but they're never like frogs. So they take the wreckage back. But here's the thing, there was one Frobot, who got away and managed to escape. However, we'll talk about that Frobot in a minute, but right now let's get back to the Watchtower. So Superman and Batman take the remains of the Frobots to the Watchtower to be analyzed. And at first, like Superman thinks it's the Toy Man. Like he thinks like if they're robot frogs, they look like toys. It's got to be the Toy Man. And Bruce is like, I don't think so. These look like a little like the technology looks unearthly, and he's like, do you think it's like, they think, is it a new form of parademon? Is it a new kind of alien invasion? And Hal is like, these my ring is scanning them, and like I can't they don't look from any planet I've ever seen. Yeah, so they're confused as to what's going on here. Meanwhile, the Frobot that got away got cross paths with someone who takes it and then rewrites its programming, and not so much like takes it over, but more like leaves it to send a message, like send it back home to Amphiba to be like, hey, I'm here, come find me, or help me find you. Let's talk, let's be friends. We'll coalesce data. Anyway, but moving on, so Anne is watching TV on the news, and, Gotham reports, frog-like robots apparently attack Gotham. The world's finest stop them. And immediately Anne's like, oh, shit. Frobots are starting to show up in other places of the world, so maybe I can talk to the Justice League. If anyone can help me get back to Amphiba and, stop this invasion from coming, it's the Justice League. I should have gone to the Justice League first and foremost. So they go. Above all else, I should have gone to the Justice League. I should also talk about the lineup real quick. The lineup is the big 7. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter. So that's our Justice League lineup for here. So Anne tries to, like, how am I going to reach the Justice League? And Twitch Sprig replies with, maybe go blue and get their attention that way? And she's like, that's the dumbest idea, Sprig. Whatever, let's try it. So she digs in, uses the power to go blue, and is like, okay, now what? He's like, well, I don't know, maybe they'll find you or something. Sure enough, the energy signature that Anne unleashes when she goes blue has been detected before, but it was so minute. Here, she's pouring it all out, so now the Watchtower is picking up that energy signature, and Superman is like, it's a little too coincidental that that's going on, and it feels like the same energy signature that Hal picked up on his ring from the robot frogs. We should check this out. So Clark and the League all arrive in California, encounter Anne, but here's the thing: that other person who found the Frobot has also picked that up and went there and is like, this might prove to be a fun little experiment. So more or less, this person uses a device to amplify Anne's aggression, and just like she turns on the League. Now you may be thinking, well, Anne's got that blue magic power, but she can't take on the entire 7 members of the League. And you're right, but she does put up quite a fight. I read somewhere that the creator of the show said that Anne's power level is somewhere like Thor or Captain Marvel level. So I could imagine she could go a few rounds with the Justice League. And it's weird too, because okay, so anyone want to call the Titans and say, hey, you lost a kid? But eventually, Superman and Diana actually is the one who uses the lasso of truth and holds Anne down, because she sees she's not angry. She's angry, but she's under some kind of spell. She's under some kind of, something's wrong with her. So she uses the lasso of truth to hold her and clear Anne's mind. She uses the magic of the lasso to clear Anne's mind, and is like, here, this is your truth, child. So Anne finally clears her head, and then she's like, oh, you're the freaking Justice League, holy crap, and I'm being bound up by Wonder Woman. I feel weird. That's Anne's reaction, is like, I'm being tied up by the Princess of the Amazons. I feel a little weird. Anyway, so Anne and the Planters reveal to the Justice League, okay, here's the deal. I have magic powers from a box, and there's an evil salamander from another world of amphibians who's coming here to invade your world once he gets his army ready. And also, they have my friends. I need help. And the Justice League, take it all in stride, because, even Anne points out, wow, you guys are, not, thinking I'm crazy. He's like, trust me, this is not even the top crack. This does not crack the top 25 weirdest adventures we've gone on. You ever heard the story about the time we got turned into trees? That's a whole thing. Anyway, so you're probably wondering, well, who was the person who sent the message to the Frobot? Because the Frobot returns, and at this point it reveals itself to the Core, who's in Marcy's body now, and more or less reveals itself to be Hank Henshaw. You thought it was Brainiac, didn't you? So yeah, Hank Henshaw, the Cyborg Superman, he found out the robots, was curious, and reached out to them saying, hey, my name is Hank Henshaw, they call me the Cyborg Superman, and whatever it is you're doing, I want in. I want to join you guys. I want to be all in with you guys. So Hank Henshaw, the Cyborg Superman, reaches out, and the Core is curious. It's bring him to us. Andreas, open the doorway for this Hank Henshaw to join us. We have questions about him. So Andreas is like, I don't trust this guy, but the Core's like, do it. So Andreas finds a way, uses the Frobots to lead Cyborg Superman back to Amphibia, and at this time, Grime and Sasha are already doing recon in the capital. They're just doing some recon, and when they find out, Yuna and Olivia reveal, hey, so Andreas brought someone from Earth, and do humans are humans robots in your world? Because there's a weird robot guy. He's got an S. He can fly. And Sasha immediately goes, "Oh shit, that's the Cyborg Superman." And Grime is like, "That's not a good thing, is it?" He's like, "That is the worst case scenario. What only could have been worse is if frickin' Darkseid showed up, or Brainiac, or someone. Like, this is the top 5 worst things that could happen." So Cyborg Superman, like, tells him, "Hey, you know, you want to invade Earth? I got information for you. You think you can just march in with a bunch of newts and robots? Trust me, sister, that ain't gonna fly. Like, the Earth has beaten back invasions worse than you." So, yeah, your invasion ain't gonna cut it. And you may have been able to coalesce a lot of information, but yeah. And to which the Core is like, what do you suggest we do? And he's like, "Well, I know a guy on my Earth who could be of assistance, but here's the thing. He could give you guys the boost you need, but you gotta let him do something in return." They're like, "What is it? Let him take something from your world. Like, he's gonna want a boon. He's gonna want, like, something in that's gonna interest him." And they're like, "What does he want?" He's like, "He's gonna want a city." So yeah, so Cyborg Superman introduces Brainiac to the Core, and the Core is like awestruck because the Core is just the data of Amphibia, which is still a primitive world. But meanwhile, you have Brainiac, who is the sum of all universes. And Brainiac at first is like, I detected your robots, and I was like, that's nothing compared to me, so I didn't care. But, however, your environment intrigues me. If you let me take one of your worlds, if you let me take, like, a city, I will help you, because I want to study it. Like, I want to add it to my collection. And the Core's like, right on, help me advance my robots. So back on Earth, and they're trying to find a way to get to Amphibia, and they think, like, the best way, like, the working idea is, like, maybe we can use the energy inside of Anne and, like, pulse it through the cosmic treadmill, and that will, like, be a guide into the multiverse and lead directly to Amphibia by using that energy mixed with the cosmic treadmill. So that's the idea, but Anne's worried, and the planners are too, that it might hurt her, or it might drive her over the edge. And Anne is, like, talking to Superman, because she's like, "I'm afraid of using my powers. Every time I use them, I feel wrong. It feels, like, just gross to me." And to which Superman's like, I felt that way too for the longest time. Like, when I was roughly your age, my powers started to, arrive. Like, my powers started to manifest, and I was scared, Anne. I was scared I was a monster, that I was going to kill somebody by accident. Like, I was just going to just hurt somebody, or worse. But you know what? My mom taught me, my parents taught me to focus all of my power, and, I still get scared of my powers to this day, but you know what? I focus it on, on those who I care about, and it makes things... Sorry, surprise cameo from my alarm clock, which I forgot to switch off. Anyway, so Clark basically tells her, like, yeah, I use I focus on those I care about, and it helps me, like, control my power. The power doesn't control you, Anne. You control it. And, I'm pretty sure there are people out there who depend on you and people you care about, and that will be your guiding light. Like, much like, and she's like, "Do you have guiding lights in your life?" And he's like, "I have a few." I have one at home, especially. So Clark basically gives her the good old pep talk, and together, like, Anne... Also, the planners are in the Watchtower, which is always a good idea. Sprig is all in on Batman. Like, he thinks Batman's the coolest kid, like, the coolest guy, because he's like, oh, he's so dark and scary. And meanwhile, Polly is, like, just obsessed with Wonder Woman. Like, she thinks she's the coolest person ever. So yeah, Batman's like, no. He's like, Anne told me that you have like a little Robin guy. Maybe I can be your frog bin. And Batman's like, absolutely not. No. So yeah. Anyway, so meanwhile, back in Amphibia, Sasha and Grime actually are trying to like figure out what to do, because now they're like, shit, Cyborg Superman, Brainiac, that's not good. And it doesn't help is that someone has also arrived on Earth after finding out about that little incident in Gotham. Yep, the Suicide Squad is in Amphibia. Turns out that Waller, because of course she would, has known about the way to Amphibia for a long time, thanks to government records, and more or less helped with the help of Professor Ivo, opened a portal from there to get the Suicide Squad into Amphibia to take out the leader, which she thought at the time was Andreas. She didn't know about the core and all of that. And she didn't also know about Brainiac and Cyborg Superman. But, so yeah, the idea was just take out Andreas. They didn't realize that. So the Suicide Squad in question is Harley, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and oh shit, who were the other two? It was Croc, Captain Boom. Oh yeah, Killer Frost and Parasite. So that's the Suicide Squad we have right here, and at first, like, they're gonna attack Grime and Sasha, and then Sasha reveals, hey, things changed, Cyborg, Superman, and Brainiac are here. So that's what's going on. The Suicide Squad team up with Sasha and Grime, the Justice League's with Anne and the Planters, and you have Brainiac and the Core working together. And Brainiac's drones basically upgrade the Frobots with Brainiac technology. And the Core is like is coalescing data with Brainiac, and that's like she's like it's referring to itself as the bride of Brainiac. And I'm like, oh, when I thought that, I was like, that's really creepy because it is still like Aunt Marcy's body, and she's still pretty young. I was like, that just adds to the creep factor of the Core more or less just using her body like that and referring to itself as the bride of Brainiac. And Brainiac's just like, oh yeah, sure, I'm yeah, whatever. So the story continues is that the Justice League, with Anne powering up the cosmic treadmill with the Flash running on it, get into Amphibia, and together, Justice League, planners, all of that, because then Brainiac reveals, like, he's gonna take Wartwood. He's gonna take Wartwood, because of course he is. And what happens is that Brainiac was going to just take the whole planet. He was just going to take everything. Because he's like, yeah, now I can you'll be the first world in the multiverse I collect. But, yeah. So everyone teams up to fight Brainiac. Brainiac escapes. And the Core also escapes, like, during the madness. And is, as a final fuck you, Cyborg Superman blasts Anne back onto Earth and closes the portal before he is, like, decimated in a resulting explosion. So, yeah, we go back to status quo and all of it. And the Justice League, sorry, we can help, we can try it again. And she's like, yeah, this is my cross to bear, but I thank you guys, and if they come, I'll know who to call. So there you go, guys. That is my Justice League Amphibia story. You guys tell me in the comments below. What did you guys think of it? Like it, hate it, comment below, let me know. As always, if you haven't already, go check out my Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description below. Post some new fight videos on there. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.